Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 2. Just a quick reminder of some information here on our Blackboard site. If you need my phone number, please text me anytime you have any questions. Just pick up the phone and call me as well. I want to make this course extremely user-friendly and accessible for everybody. So my information is here. I encourage you to go back and revisit past announcements to remind yourself of the flow of what we've been doing. For example, I sent a message out last week with some extra resources for you, as well as information about your NIH city certification. So either look at your email inbox or right here at the old announcements. Capstone resources, extremely important. I want to draw your attention to really 3 things this week. One is this template for the entire project. Sometimes templates that have all the headings for everything you're going to do for this class and next really can demystify the process for you. And keeping that in mind, I find it really helpful to look at successful past projects as other ways to get a handle on mechanical things like APA, but also writing style and just overall structure and rigor of what's expected. So if this project is attached here as an example, it's definitely a good one. So I encourage you to check it out. Of course, we have our APA writing resources and library resources. And keeping that in mind, did send an announcement out about our schedule for our library class. So go back and revisit that because that is an assignment that you will be awarded credit for. Okay. As a reminder, week 1, we spent the week really writing a couple strong discussion posts about our thoughts on action research, also our individual strengths and weaknesses as graduate students. And that's really accumulated with us having a lot of groups having been put together. We have Sandra, Christopher, and Starline so far working together. We have Carissa, Barbara, and Patricia. I haven't got a confirmation that you are going to be working with them on collaboration yet, so please connect with Chris and Barbara. We have Morgan, Brittany, and Leslie working together, Connie and Courtney, Mai Chow and David, and Jeff, Marcella, and Jason have yet to be placed. So really, the only option is the 3 of you forming your own group or jumping in here with Connie and Courtney or Mai Chow and David. I apologize if I'm pronouncing anybody's name incorrectly. So I'm going to leave that to you guys to tease out. When you have it determined, please shoot me an email. And I can't stress enough how moving here into week 2 is really heavily dependent on you being in your group. So keeping that in mind, let's look at week 2. I don't need to read these outcomes to you. That's fine. You're going to be looking at chapters 3 and 4. And that's really nice because we're going to be spending time this week talking about the literature review. And all the literature review is chapter 2. It's the first thing we're going to write. But we can't write it until we know what kind of literature to review. And that literature that we're going to review is going to come from gaps in the research. So the research on your question, your problem statement, and the research on the interventions you are going to do to address that problem statement. So before we do chapter 2, we really need to have a nice outline of chapter 1. Hopefully that makes sense. You can peruse here what's needed for IRB approval. That's just kind of nice for you to take a peek at. You're going to have a learning module. You can go through that. If you have yet to decide on your group, this is mainly for Jason, Jeff, and Marcella. You can get here into this group and have some more discussions about it. And our discussions for week 2 are 2 parts. Pretty simple. The first part is going to be about reviewing the literature. So you're going to get into the capstone resource section and download that literature review matrix that you'll find there, or you can design your own bubble map or outline per pages 46 and 47 of your text. And you're going to be breaking out your literature review into topics. So you're not writing it this week. You're not necessarily finding any of your literature. You're just breaking it into topics, submitting that. Okay, you'll all submit the same one. And then you're going to indicate, and you can read this in more detail here, what individual parts you are going to do. as a group member. The second part, oops, not that. Let's go back here. The second part of the discussion thread is really a progress update. And you'll notice here, and you can read through it, there's really two things. You can do it right here in the discussion board, or you can schedule a time with me. I'm fine with whatever. If you have another way you'd like to do it as well, but we need to have a either an asynchronous or synchronous update. Although this is formal here, you can do this anytime you want with me throughout the class. Okay. And this here is really referencing that discussion post. Again, we have our library research review I alluded to earlier, and the city training that you received an email on, and really your first group submission is your initial planning. So once you have that group done and you have an idea of what your research question is, you're going to go through here and engage in this initial assignment. And this is really your first chance to outline chapter 1, which will ultimately guide you in writing your research, your literature review. Break up this work. Look at past studies that have been done when writing it. I can't tell you how important it is to begin with the end in mind. Okay. As you're working through week 2, please reach out to me, and please reach out to each other to get those groups solidified, break up your tasks, and develop a schedule with respect to who's going to do what work. If you do that, I promise you this process is going to be one of the most rewarding things you've ever done as educators. All right. Thank you very much.